What's going on, YouTube? And welcome to Goal Line Hockey. It's Kevin Forte, and today we are taking a look at the Montreal Canadiens with their massive signing and their massive move to start the offseason, as Kent Hughes is not wasting any time, not waiting for the potential of an offer sheet after July 1st. The Montreal Canadiens have locked up their young scoring sniper Cole Caufield to an 8-year, $62.8 million contract. We're going to look at what this means for the Montreal Canadiens' future, what this means for Cole Caufield's future, the positives, the negatives of this contract. We're going to take a look at all of that in today's video. And like I said, guys, if you've not already, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And let's take a look at the Habs' newest signing. So this is a big one here for the Habs. So Cole Caufield, in his first 3 seasons, he signed an entry-level contract back in March of 2021. And it's been kind of a weird career for the former Wisconsin Badgers alum. Now, here's the thing. His first season in the NHL, he only played 10 games at the NHL level. He had 5 points in 10 games down the stretch that season after his season concluded with the Badgers. Then last year in the 2021-22 season, he played 67 games, put up 43 points, 23 goals, 20 assists. He actually had a pretty good season last year. Now, this season, he played 46 games with 26 goals for 36 points. So, you put everything together, he has 84 points in 123 NHL games. Now, I guess the biggest problem with this whole situation around Caufield is basically in what should have been 2 full seasons, Caufield has not played close to that. The last 2 years, he's played basically 113 games combined out of really what you're looking for to be 164 games, which ideally is 2 full NHL seasons. He's missed 50 games in the last 2 years. So there is a sense out there that is Cole Caufield maybe a liability. And, you know, it comes to a point where when you sign a guy to an 8-year deal like they just did, there is that genuine concern if there's injury issues here, is that going to be a problem long term? Now, from the looks of things, that doesn't necessarily look like that will be the case, but that is something you have to factor into this contract because, again, you're signing an 8-year deal on a guy that's been injury-prone. That is a level of concern that I think is kind of rightfully so by the Montreal Canadiens. But you can't deny that when he's in the lineup, this is a guy that's going to produce. He's going to score goals. He's going to produce points, and that's what you're looking for. And, you know, we talk about the high ticket premium that teams will pay for guys that can score goals. And that's the case here for Cole Caufield. Now, let's say in a legitimate full season, right, a full 82-game season, you're looking at a guy that's going to probably be pretty close to that 40, maybe close to that 50-goal mark. But realistically, between the 35 to 40 goal mark per season, he's still a really talented guy. And when you talk about goal scoring like that, that's what teams are dying for. Guys that can score that many goals in a full season. And as the Habs start to kind of enter the construction period of this rebuild, you know, a guy like Cole Caufield there is definitely going to help speed up the process. Now, what's interesting about the contract here for Caufield is a couple of different things. So the first part of the deal is the first 5 years of this contract, he can get moved anywhere. He has no trade protection. In the final 3 years of his contract starting on July 1st of 2028, he has a modified no trade clause that kicks in. It's a 15-team no trade list, and then the following season, his 7th year in the deal, becomes a 10-team no trade list, and then the final year of his deal, which will be 2030, 2031. So July 1st of 2031 is when this contract ends. He will have a 5-team no trade list. For the first 2 years on July 1st, he'll have a $5 million signing bonus kickback. Not too bad. So he's got $5 million from signing this deal this year, and he's got $5 million for signing this deal next year. The base salary is actually quite low to start out. He's going to be making under $5 million, $4.975 for the first 2 seasons. That's quickly going to jump up to $9.975 in year 3. And I'll have the rest of the breakdown here in the video for you guys. But you can obviously tell that this is a pretty intricate contract with a lot of salary kind of moving around between the years. But overall, I really like this deal for the Habs. I like the fact that they got him locked up long term. I think it's worth the risk because this is a kind of player that is not going to be readily available. And, you know, a young scoring guy, this could be I don't want to call him a generational talent, but I'm going to. I think he's the type of guy that the Montreal Canadiens desperately need on this team. You consider the fact that you have a guy like Nick Suzuki who is making $7.875. He's making $25,000 less per year on his deal than Suzuki, so he's just a little bit lower than Suzuki's cap hit. That's a really good job by Kent Hughes, and we talked about this when they signed Nick Suzuki. We were kind of saying, you know, the idea that they were able to get Suzuki under $8 million, nobody's going to get paid more than Nick Suzuki. He is the standard. So when you look at that situation right now, the fact that you've got now Suzuki and Caufield locked in for the next multiple years on each of them on deals under $8 million, that's a huge win and kind of sets the precedent for the rest of the lineup when their contracts come due. And when you start looking at maybe some of the other younger players like Uros Slavkovsky, you know, I'm trying to think of who else on this list, maybe Justin Barron, you know, you kind of get the point, right? The next young guys that are going to be coming in the lineup, the Jan Myseks, I don't think they have Nazar, do they? Yeah, Philip Mazar, Owen Beck, Xavier Semenya, all those guys. I definitely butchered his name. I apologize for that. Jesse Ulenin, all those guys, right? You know, now the precedent has been set, and I think that's going to be a net positive for the Canadiens. It's going to make negotiations a lot easier with some of these players because that is what they have for the lineup, right? And it's going to be hard to make an argument that you should be making more than Suzuki or Caufield. You better be really you might be playing hardball there, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how things work out here for the Habs. I think this is a really good signing, though. This is getting them on the right path going into the summer. And it's going to make them more of an attractive option to other players in the free agency market and even trying to re-sign guys via a trade and then trying to lock them up long-term afterward. They see the direction. They see that there's a lot of investment in those younger players. I think it's going to pay off for them dearly as we move forward. So let me know what you guys think down below. What do you guys think of the Montreal Canadiens making a pretty big splash here, signing Cole Caufield to an 8-year, $62.8 million contract? Of course, the pros to this are that they're going to be getting a guy that is a potential superstar goal scorer for less than $8 million per season. The downside is if he is not consistently healthy, playing between 40 to 60 games per season for the remainder of that contract, it's not going to age that well. And that's where the concern starts to come up to maybe having to move him before that no-trade clause kicks in the first 5 years of his deal. But we still have a lot of time to discuss some of that stuff. But let me know what you guys think down below. What do you guys think of the signing? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys again next time.